A bold idea, the US Bitcoin Reserve. Imagine a future where the United States not only holds vast reserves of oil, but also a significant amount of Bitcoin. This concept is gaining traction among some forward-thinking economists and policymakers. The United States holds massive reserves of oil, which serve as a critical buffer during times of global crises. These reserves ensure that the country can maintain stability and meet its energy needs even when supply chains are disrupted. This strategic reserve acts as a safety net during global crises, providing a cushion against sudden spikes in oil prices and ensuring that the economy can continue to function smoothly. Now imagine a similar reserve, but for Bitcoin. A US strategic Bitcoin reserve could serve as a financial safety net, offering protection against economic instability and currency devaluation. This is the bold idea gaining traction in some circles. Advocates believe that by holding a significant amount of Bitcoin, the US could hedge against the volatility of traditional financial markets. A US strategic Bitcoin reserve fund could hold significant amounts of Bitcoin, potentially stabilizing the national economy during periods of financial turbulence. Proponents argue it would protect the US from global economic instability. They highlight Bitcoin's decentralized nature, which makes it less susceptible to manipulation by any single entity. They point to Bitcoin's decentralized nature and limited supply as strengths. Unlike traditional currencies, Bitcoin's supply is capped, which could help mitigate inflationary pressures. The idea is controversial but not entirely far-fetched. Critics argue that Bitcoin's volatility and regulatory uncertainties make it a risky asset for a national reserve. It forces us to ask, what role could Bitcoin play in a future dominated by digital currencies? As the world moves towards digital finance, the concept of a US Bitcoin reserve challenges us to rethink traditional economic strategies and consider new forms of financial security. Trump, from skeptic to supporter. The journey of Donald Trump's views on Bitcoin has been nothing short of fascinating. Donald Trump has publicly expressed skepticism about Bitcoin. In various interviews and tweets, he has made it clear that he is not a fan of the cryptocurrency. He once called it a scam, associating it with fraudulent activities and expressing concerns about its legitimacy. However, his stance on economic policy has been unpredictable. Over the years, Trump has shown a willingness to adapt and change his views based on new information and shifting circumstances. Could he be swayed by the potential of a Bitcoin reserve? The idea of incorporating Bitcoin into the National Reserve could present a unique opportunity for economic growth. Some of Trump's policies, like his focus on America First, could align with this idea. By prioritizing American interests, a Bitcoin reserve might be seen as a way to bolster the nation's financial independence. A Bitcoin reserve could be positioned as a way to strengthen the US dollar's dominance. By integrating Bitcoin, the US could potentially enhance its economic stability and global financial influence. Of course, this is all speculation. The future of Bitcoin and its acceptance by major political figures remains uncertain, but the possibility of Trump embracing such a radical concept is intriguing. It opens up discussions about the evolving nature of financial systems and the role of cryptocurrencies in the modern economy. It highlights the unpredictable nature of the cryptocurrency world. As we continue to navigate this digital frontier, the potential for unexpected alliances and shifts in perspective remains ever present. Bitcoin's price surge, a likely outcome? If the US were to establish a Bitcoin reserve, the impact on Bitcoin's price would be significant. Increased demand from a major government would likely send prices soaring. The move could also trigger a domino effect. Other countries, fearing being left behind, might start accumulating Bitcoin as well. This would further fuel demand and potentially lead to widespread adoption. Imagine a world where Bitcoin becomes a major reserve asset. This scenario, once unthinkable, is now within the realm of possibility. Section 4. Not-so-fast risks and counter-arguments. Despite the potential benefits, there are also risks. Bitcoin's volatility is a major concern. Its price can fluctuate wildly, which could pose problems for a reserve asset. Political resistance is another hurdle. Many in Washington remain skeptical of Bitcoin. They might oppose the creation of a reserve, citing its novelty and perceived risks. These counter-arguments are valid and cannot be ignored. However, they also highlight the need for a balanced and informed discussion about Bitcoin's potential role in the global financial system. Section 5. The future of money, a new world order? The debate over a US Bitcoin reserve is about more than just Bitcoin. It's a discussion that touches on the very essence of financial sovereignty and the future of global economic power. As nations grapple with the implications of digital currencies, the US finds itself at a crossroads. It's about the future of money itself. Traditional currencies are being challenged by the rise of digital alternatives, and this transformation is reshaping the financial landscape. The way we perceive and use money is undergoing a radical change. We are witnessing a global shift towards digital currencies. From small transactions in local stores to large-scale international trade, digital currencies are becoming more prevalent. Countries around the world are beginning to adopt and integrate these new forms of money into their economies. Central banks around the world are exploring digital versions of their own currencies. This exploration is not just about keeping up with technological advancements, but also about maintaining control over their monetary systems. The potential benefits and risks are being carefully weighed. In this evolving landscape, Bitcoin stands out as a truly decentralized and independent alternative. Unlike traditional currencies, Bitcoin is not controlled by any single entity, making it a unique player in the financial world. Its decentralized nature offers both opportunities and challenges. Whether or not the US embraces Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency revolution is here to stay. The momentum behind digital currencies is undeniable, and their impact on the global economy is already being felt. The question now is how different countries will respond to this shift. The question is, will the US lead the way or be left behind? As other nations forge ahead with their digital currency initiatives, the US must decide whether to take a proactive stance or risk falling behind in this new financial era. The future of money is unfolding, and the choices made today will shape the world of tomorrow. Section 6. A call to action, brace for impact. The concept of a US strategic Bitcoin reserve fund is a powerful one. It forces us to confront the changing dynamics of the global financial system. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just curious about Bitcoin, now is the time to pay attention. The decisions made today will shape the future of finance for generations to come. Do your research, engage in the debate, and brace for impact. The world of money is changing, and Bitcoin is at the forefront of this revolution.